Welcome to Ali.Fitness. So today we're using the foam roller and the spiky ball, and I totally recommend doing this every day if you can, even just for 5-10 minutes. It's not only good for prevention of injury, recovery, and also performance. So you can do this before exercise, after exercise, even on your days off. I can't recommend it enough. So we're going to do a full body foam rolling session, spiky ball session, and you can skip ones that you don't need, hold ones for longer, pause me, and have fun. So as you can see, the surrounding, it's just my lounge room. So if you've got a little lounge room, it doesn't matter. All you need, preferably a yoga mat as well. So let's get started. So to start with, we're going to start with the upper back and neck. So I recommend just getting the roller and starting off quite slowly, especially if you've got a tight upper back. You might start to put your hands behind your head and even elbows up to the ceiling. That'll keep the scapula on the back. And if you've got your hair in the road, just tuck it under. Slowly, slowly rolling back and forth. Notice, start to do sort of one vertebra at a time. And then starting to get down a little lower. And you might need to do this one for a while, but I'm just going to leave it there. And then we're going to come onto the neck straight away. Once again, moving the hair if you need to. And just being really gentle and careful. And that little movement there just could be enough to start with. Just side to side. Being really careful with the neck all the time. And then we'll just take the roller and place it down the length of the spine. Come onto the roller. And then from here, rest the head down. Now your arms start to float down along the ground. Your arms may be up higher. Just depends on how open you feel in the chest area. And this is great for sitting on the computer all day and you just want to open up your chest, open up your lungs. And it's nice to combine this with a breathing exercise if you can. So inhale and exhale. And continue to do that for as long as you need. And coming back onto the lower back. Now, careful with the lower back that you don't come into the lumbar spine and overstretch it. So I often come past there and even slowly take the knees from side to side. And you might hear a few little cracks. If you're quite tight, should stretch out the spine. But once again, just taking it to where you feel that that's enough. And then rolling over to the side. Being quite careful here as well. Taking this left arm down, we're just going to use the pressure of the floor, of the arm, to take the pressure, as much of the pressure off as you need. Rolling up and down the side body, all the way up, if you like, continuing right up to the arm, and just moving that onto the shoulder blade. That should feel quite nice. And then obviously same on the other side. So we'll just quickly go to the other side. But for the purposes of this video, we'll make that side a little shorter. And then coming on to the lower back again, taking the hands and being really careful here. It's coming back and forth, especially for those who have sore lower backs. Relaxing the neck. And then when you're ready, sitting up and taking one leg over, dorsiflex the foot here, let the ankle rest on the knee, and come slightly to the side. as you get into this glute area, glute max, and move around until you feel like it's really getting in deep. And later on we'll use the ball to do this as well. So we do this on both sides. And once again, one side might feel a little tighter than the other. So feel free to spend a little longer on one side. And you can always hold the position as well if you feel that it's quite tight in one spot. And then from there, we're going to come down. Once again, we'll come back to the glute. We're going to come down to the ITB. Now, there's a lot of research to say not to roll on the ITB, and in my blog you can read more about that. So we're just going to come onto the side rather than directly onto the ITB here. So there's sort of 3 movements we're going to do here. One of them is like this. The next one we're going to come over and roll all the way. Now you've got 2 options here. You can do both legs at the same time, and that's obviously a little lighter. Or if you can, just take one leg across and just do one leg. And that should feel really nice on the hamstrings. Now if you're quite tight, it may even tighten up just towards the top of the knee there. And then if that's the case, you can roll into that. So just feeling where you, just sort of adjusting to see where you need the most rolling. And then while you're on this leg, you come all the way down onto the calf. So option 1 here is to keep this left leg down to take off the pressure, rolling back and forth. Otherwise, and then also obviously taking the different angles of the calf. And then if you like, you can take a bit more pressure onto the calf. Work out your triceps while you're there if you like. And another nice thing I like to do is go side to side. So just rolling side to side on the calf, giving it a little massage back and forth and side to side. And then coming over the top. So one place where people tend to get really quite tight is just in here in the VMO and the adductors. So what we're going to do is elbows to the ground. If you like, you can rest your head onto a block or a pillow. And here we can roll all the way to the knee. And I myself are quite tight here, so I might spend a bit of time rolling here and then rolling all the way down. And if you like, and if you've got 2 rollers and you're very flexible, you might like to do both legs at the same time into like a frog split. And once you've done both legs there, come up and we get right onto the top of the thighs. So once again, a couple of different options. You can do 2 legs at once and roll, and sometimes that's pretty strong. Otherwise, just like we did before, I'll do the left side this time, is we cross our legs over at the back and roll. So that's quite strong. If your quads are quite tight, you'll feel that a lot. And then finally, I like to do the shins, especially if you get shin splints and that sort of thing. It feels quite nice. So, or sore. Coming up onto the fingertips or the flat hands and just rolling back and forth, back and forth. Sometimes I like to finish that with a bit of a stretch, sitting down and rolling. Also too, what's really quite nice is that full body roll. So you might come all the way up, all the way back. And once again, you can always finish this with a little twist, little sort of cobra, side to side, stretch out the back, and come all the way down. And then it's nice to place the roller on the back of the ankles, so just onto the bottom of the calves, touching the heel, and just simply wiggle side to side. This can be quite strong the first time you do it. Might feel quite nice though. And then, if you can, if you've got a smaller roller, it works even better, or even a towel. Take it as high as you can and sit down. Then you might even lean back and come side to side. So there's a good, nice workout with the roller. And then I like to use the ball for a couple of things to get quite deep into the glutes. It's a great one. So we place the roller wherever you sort of feel quite tight. Right down in there in the glutes is great. And you just roll around, just keep moving until you feel the release. And you might find a spot and just rest and then move again. And the benefits of doing this are quite profound. You'll notice that it just totally relaxes the muscle and you'll be able to perform much better. So do that on both sides, especially where you feel it the most. You might even come down a little lower onto the sit bones and roll right around. And then finally, you come onto the hip flexor. Just be quite careful here. We can find that it may be a little tight. Just getting down into that hip flexor area. And then the final frontal roll here with the ball is right down into the bottom of the rib cage. It can really release the hip flexor by getting right in there. Sometimes this can make you feel a little nauseous, so just be mindful. But it really relaxes you, and I'm really recommending just holding that there, closing the eyes and taking some deep breaths in and out through the nose. And you'll find that that slowly just becomes more and more relaxed. And then after all of that, if you can get up off the mat and you're feeling okay, you might like to do a really beautiful foot massage. So here, it's nice to stretch out the calf by taking the heel down and then maybe even just rolling underneath the foot. And after that, you should feel nice and relaxed. And a nice way to finish might be with a few little stretches, or simply taking a block or a roller, lying down and relaxing out into like a shavasana sort of yoga pose, either with the block or the roller, opening up the chest and the heart. Or if you feel like it, you can just simply remove the roller, lie down and relax. So if you end up waking up, please sit up and have a great day. And if you like that, I'd love to hear your comments, even if you didn't like it. Leave your comments below. Thanks.